impossible I have found. For when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, start all over.
What's 52 Pickup?
It is a play based on 52 scenes based on 52 cards of a deck, and it's about a couple's relationship, and a man and a woman come on stage at the beginning of the play. They shuffle and throw up all the cards, and we play every 52 scene every show, but it's a different order every show. So you might see the breakup of the relationship first, followed by the first kiss, followed by a bed scene, followed by an argument. Basically, it's about two people meeting, being together, and breaking up.
There's probably like 10 different ways it could go, right?
Oh, no.
Is it bigger than that?
The chance of...
You've memorized the number, right?
Yeah, I've memorized the number. The chance of it ever being the same show is, and I wrote down the number for you.
We have a visual aid. I love that.
This is the chance. 1 in.
Are you saying that's all one number?
This is all one number.
How many performances of the show are you going to do?
That many.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
So that over our lifetime, we will create that repeat show.
This is also how many times you have to see the show in order to see every different incarnation of it.
Twice, yes.
We'll get back to the show in a second, but let's talk about you.
All right.
Gemma, I detect a little accent in your voice, and it makes me think that perhaps you're not from Denver. Maybe Boulder?
Yes. Well, I've been living in Boulder for 5 years, but in America for 7 years, but I'm from London, UK.
Oh, that's a British accent?
It is.
Everyone I know from Boulder talks like that.
Wait a minute, I'm from Boulder. Do I talk like that?
No, I guess not. You've ruined it for me. But how long have you been there, Sam?
I've been in Boulder coming up on 6 years now.
You know what I just noticed? Is that when people are watching this podcast, they're going to be able to see my shadow on your stomach. Just a little,
right here.
Another little visual aid. Yeah, a little shadow. Nice. Anyway, so Gemma, why did you move to Boulder in the first place?
At the time in Boulder, there wasn't much happening in the arts community. There wasn't really any reason for me to think it was blooming, but I had this feeling like there was something, like there was some great creative people there, and when I moved there, that was the year that the Boulder International Fringe Festival began, and also the MFA program at Naropa.
So you're really sensing, specifically in more of the alternative arts, a resurgence in Boulder right now?
In the alternative arts and the conventional arts, but yeah, especially the kind of experimental work through the Boulder Fringe, and the MFA program is an offshoot from the New York experimental wing, New York University. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of unusual modalities.
And it's time for Denver to see a little bit of that. I take it.
Yeah, I mean we're not like super experimental, like in the weird way.
In what we
in that weird freaky way.
In that Boulder way, you mean?
Hey.
Remember, I still live there. I can say that.
Yeah, so I moved out here 6 years ago to go to Naropa, though not for the theater program. I was considering that, but I wanted a degree that I thought I might be able to make money at some point, so I picked therapy instead.
I see.
And got my master's in somatic psychology. And since graduating, have kind of leaned back and been recruited back into doing more performing and theater work. So it's been a couple years of being pretty busy and doing theater and in Boulder and elsewhere. So
he's the most sought after male actor in Boulder.
Really?
Wow.
It is true.
Nice.
I didn't know that was my title.
Now, how long have you two been performing this show?
Well, we've been working on it for about 18 months and performing it for about 10 months, and have performed it in 2 different iterations in Boulder and then Austin, Texas, and are headed to Colorado Springs and then Winnipeg later this summer.
And it's interesting when you talk about the difference between experimental theater and fringe theater and what connotations those have. This is really just a very straightforward and sweet love story. Just what makes it experimental is just the form, right?
Definitely the form is unusual. I mean, it's definitely not just a sweet love story, that's for sure. I mean, it really does take you on a ride through the ups and downs of relationship, including some pretty like intense argument scenes or some high tension scenes in the bedroom, and then some really ecstatic, beautiful scenes, and then some mundane scenes about everyday relationship. And the feedback we've got from a lot of people is that everyone identifies with at least a handful of scenes, like very intimately from their relationship.
What do you think is the benefit of doing the 52 card pickup route here as opposed to just telling the story from beginning to end?
And I think it has to do with the way that we both remember as well as experience relationship, that oftentimes it has kind of a dreamlike quality in that you have an experience and then you jump cut to 5 years before when that experience reminds you of something else, and that in going through a relationship and the cycle of a relationship, there is a certain dreamlike quality, and it makes sense to really switch quickly between different moments in the relationship.
Well, I imagine the pulse and the feeling of the entire piece can be vastly different from one night to the next, just based on the order.
Yeah,
Major.
I mean, there was one, you know, we've had a couple of times where, I mean, it's so exciting, as you can imagine, for us as actors to have to do this.
Right.
But yeah, we had one scene, one time once where there was we did the breakup scene, and then literally the next card was like the most ecstatic scene in the play, which is called Bliss, where we're dancing, we're in like the height of the love relationship. So just to swing from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high of a relationship was quite a feat, and I think took the audience on quite a journey as well. Tell me a story.
Real or made up?
Both.
Happy or sad?
Both.
All right. You do it too?
All right. Ten of spades, another year later. So, are you seeing anyone?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, really? Since when?
Recent, very, very recent.
Oh. So, is it serious?
Too soon to tell.
Oh, right, you just said it was recent. How would you know? So, how old is she?
Oh, I am not telling you that.
Why not?
Because the only reason you want to know is so that you can figure out her sign, her Chinese sign, and you know I think all of that is bunk.
Well, does she think it's bunk?
No, she doesn't.
Ah, so she's into astrology then.
Yes, she is. All right, all right.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
You know, I always thought we'd go to Thailand together.
Well,
You know, I still love you.
I love you too. Oh shit, I gotta go.
What, already?
Yeah, I gotta run.
What, do you have to go and meet her or something?
Yeah, actually.
Oh.
Well, bye.
Bye.
Nothing's impossible, I have found. For when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip, and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again.